Go ahead. What's good, everybody? Welcome to Peaches and Power Bombs. This is Alora Presley alongside Majestic Marie. And on the bottom, good friend of ours from Bucklebomb Entertainment, Sarah Vicik. How are you doing?
I am great. How is everyone?
We are doing good.
Doing
And
good.
Mina says hi.
As always, everybody come on in, join the conversation, leave us some comments as we talk about some wrestling. Like, share, subscribe to Peaches and Power Bombs. We enjoy the interaction with you guys here, so feel free to say whatever, well, within reason, whatever you want, as long as it's on topic, I guess. So the wrestling world is on fire, as it has been for the past 9 months, it seems. It seemed like it was going to calm down and we were getting really comfortable in our new way of life in our little world here, and then Vince McMahon decided to go, no way, you can't go on without me. I'm going to storm in, manhandle the board of directors and place myself right here at the top. And it's been interesting to say the least. Stephanie McMahon decided to step down, not only step down, but to totally, she handed in her resignation. So she is no longer with the company in any aspect. So, Sarah, what did you think about all of this crazy stuff that's been going on?
You know, when we first talked about me coming on a few days ago, I'm like, oh, hopefully we have something big to talk about. Maybe, be AEW heavy. WWE came in with the Money in the Bank briefcase, said, hold on, we're going to change all that. Since Monday and Tuesday, it's been a wild ride. But the whole thing with Stephanie, to me, it's not a surprise. I mean, it's a surprise because it just happened so quickly.
Right.
But before she became co-CEO, I mean, she was already on a leave of absence.
Right.
So, I mean, when you take a step back and think about it, I mean, I guess her resignation really isn't that much of a surprise.
I would say I agree with Sarah. Because she was on a leave of absence until Vince, quote unquote, retired, and all that news with the sexual harassment lawsuits and stuff filed in, and she had to step in, and it's funny because like Vince now is come back in the picture, and it's like Stephanie more or less took herself out of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like. Of course, nobody's in the room with them. But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of turbulence going on behind the scenes. The rumors. Then one rumor they said was true. Everybody was posting it. Then all of a sudden it's not true, and it's like, y'all, we're barely 2 weeks into the new year. Come on.
Y'all need to calm down.
I know, right?
Find a chair and sit in it.
I'd like to cancel my free trial and go back to 2022, please.
No, please don't do that to me. Please don't do that to me. The first 8 months of 2022 was horrible in my world. So, no. Now,
we'll go back
August
to December.
On.
Go back to December. No Vince. Stephanie's still there.
Yeah. It's been crazy. What do we have to say? Hi, Ron, the Saint from TRWC. I was about to say, do not allow me to say whatever I want. Oh, no.
Ron, that's why you have your own show.
Right. Just kidding. Yeah, it was just weird timing too, because they had this company call to last Friday, and they were like, yeah, everything's going to be fine. He's just coming in to oversee the sale of the company. Everybody's keeping their positions. There's nothing going to change. We're all fine here. It's all fine. And then she was like, you know what? I'm just going to go back home. Okay. It was just a weird timing. I don't know
Mhm.
if something happened between those few days or if she's always had this in mind. Okay, if he's here, then I want to just go home and be a mom or whatever it is.
Mhm.
She's been in that company pretty much since she was a teenager, and it's been her entire life. So maybe she's always wanted to just step back and walk away from it and you know be there for her family or whatever. We don't know. So let's hope it wasn't anything like you know worse than that.
Controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my
So
mind just went
some of the other
completely
news
blank.
that has been confirmed and not the speculative nonsense that people were
Mhm.
spewing earlier this week. We won't even get into all that mess because it's not even worth the time to.
Mhm.
Apparently, Tony Khan and his dad are interested in buying WWE. I'm sorry, it's really funny to think about. Alora, what did you think?
I thought that was pretty I thought that was pretty wild.
Yeah,
I saw that on Wrestling not too long ago and I'm like, "What? Come on now. Come on, don't do that." Cuz like that's like another monopoly, you know, in a way. But there's so many potential buyers and you know, I was just telling Marie before we got on, um, I was listening to good mic work commentaries and Disney is one of the potential buyers. And of course, like my first thought is, oh God, hot dog, hot diggity dog. Right. And so, but he said, he was like, you know, don't hate on Disney too much. They got a lot of money and they would, and, they have, Disney World, Disneyland, or whatnot. They would absolutely have the opportunity to create a physical Hall of Fame. That was the one point he brought up. I was like, yeah, I wonder why they, I never understood why they didn't open up a physical Hall of Fame, but I could see Disney doing something like that. I mean, these are big, big, big companies that are interested. Comcast, NBC, uh, Fox, ESPN. I mean, this is nothing to laugh at. So it's going to be interesting. Um, I have another thought, but I'll save it after everybody has their turn.
It's interesting too because we saw the reports today that Nick Khan met with Disney CEO Bob Iger and ESPN CEO. So, I mean, there's that. Who knows how those talks went?
To be a
interesting.
fly on the wall.
Right. And this stuff is going to take months for them to sort through and figure out. We're not going to know who who the buyer is going to be for quite some time. And so that's another thing. It's not going to be a spur of the moment like that decision either. So we all have to be patient and just wait to see what happens. And after all the crazy rumors that we heard, the potential of Disney and NBC and I don't know, even the cons over there is nothing compared to what that would have been if that was even remotely true. And thank goodness it's not. So, it kind of really, because at first when I thought about Disney owning WWE, I was like really tense and going, oh, it's already a little bit watered down and it's going to get even worse if they're involved. And I was like, you know what? I'd be okay with it if it's not that. So, if it's not that, so
I think the big question we all have, if Disney does buy it, does Charlotte get downgraded back to a Disney princess, or is she still remain a Disney queen?
Oh, like a Disney villain.
Yep.
Oh man.
oh, she would be a Disney queen. I mean, I mean, Elsa's a Disney queen, and so is Anna now. So
Sure, sure.
those exist. And I was telling Laura before we came on, if I get Thanos versus Brock Lesnar, I'm good. So
I
the
mean, they
ultimate
had the
showdown.
Scooby Doo movie, WrestleMania Scooby Doo movie. So I mean,
Never say never.
yeah, for sure.
That was Cherie. Hi, welcome back. Triple H and Stephanie were not at Dynamite last night. That was a Photoshop pick.
Mm-hmm. I was
But
gonna say to I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say to like Sarah said, well, both of y'all said this is not an overnight thing that's gonna happen. If WWE is to be sold, anybody that's ever sold a house or a business, something like that, this thing doesn't happen overnight. The decision to sell doesn't happen overnight. This is something that's probably been in the making for a while. And no matter how smooth or how smooth this transition will be, it's going to cause uproar even either way. There's going to be changes, both positive and negative. I think it's all about weighing the pros and cons of this. No pun intended.
I'm sorry when you said it. I was like,
no pun intended. But what you know. So and then too I and this is something I thought about like for the past couple of days. I'm like, this is the McMahon dynasty. Why would you want to sell it? Like, I should have texted you earlier, Marie, and have you like try to make a clip of CM Punk talking about the day Vince is dead and gone. He's going to leave the company to his daughter and doofus son-in-law. And been like, when we opened the show, and been like, well, that aged well.
yeah.
But
That
I
is
forgot
really
about
crazy to me. You would rather sell the company than let your family run it for you.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I'm like, what? Why? Like, because I always figured it was just going to be passed down. You got grandchildren now, and you got all the money you freaking want. Like,
Yeah.
dude, why?
Maybe there was a little bit of truth into it in that one clip that he did that one time that if someone's going to destroy what he created, it'll be him and he'll inject a lethal dose of poison or something like that. I don't remember
Like
what
the
exactly.
NWO promo.
Yep. The NWO
Yeah.
promo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe there is some truth to that. He was like, if it's going down, I'm going to do it myself. I don't know.
Mm,
Oh, crazy stuff. All right,
I'm
what else do
telling
we
you.
have over here? Hi Timothy. Good evening, ladies. Jamie Hader and Cora Jade are queens, obviously. And yes, we will talk about Adam Cole in just a few minutes.
Oh, you already know. We're waiting for who to show up.
I know, right? So while we're still talking about WWE, we're going to just go ahead and start jumping into the actual product now and not about all the crazy business stuff, speculations that are going on. So let's talk about some of the stuff that's been happening on Raw and SmackDown lately. We won't get into everything because then we would be here for about ever. And Sarah's got to go, so we can't be here forever. So one of the things that is standing out to me that is kind of making me chuckle is Dominic Mysterio and his gangster life.
Oh my god.
He has a hard he's been through hard times, man. He spent a total of 3 to 4 hours in the county jail, and his life is just not the same now. What
hard times.
My immediate thought, if anybody that's a fan of The Office, it's like Prison Mike in real life here.
It's cheesy by like 5,000%,
Mhm.
but it's so bad it's good.
Yes.
It's one of those things. So What do y'all think about Dominic Mysterio and, you know, kind of just have it relaxing some? Because to me, it always seemed like he was too tense and he was trying too hard. And now he's just, it seems like he's relaxing into his role and just, allowing his personality and things to come out. I really like the side of him.
Um, yeah, considering, he's around two well-established veterans in Finn Balor and Damian Priest, that's one advantage. And then Rhea Ripley, she's got experience of her own. I'm pretty sure he's getting a lot of advice, especially backstage, not just the group, but backstage. And you know, everybody's gonna go through that what's that called? The oh Jesus. Like trial and error. Let's just learning curve, that's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. I think that's what we're seeing with Dominic. He's going through that learning curve. And while, we all know Dominic, has had some high profile matches like the one with Seth Rollins in 2020. And then there's no crowd on top of that. Well, Thunderdome, but you know, it's one of those things, you win some, you lose some, I think. And if it's garnering attention, good for him. I'm sure his dad Eddie is so proud.
Yeah, the whole Dominic Mysterio thing, it's like Murray said, it's so cheesy, it's funny, but you can't help sit back and laugh. And I'm sure, he is getting some great advice from the veterans, and he's only been doing this for 2.5 years. So
Mm-hmm.
it takes time for everybody to get comfortable in the ring.
Yeah,
And how many people start their wrestling careers right at the top?
right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the thing right there is that, a lot of people have had the advantage of learning when not a whole lot of people are watching, and he's learning in front of everyone. So,
Right.
we're
And
going to
he's
see
not the
the
first one. Yeah.
we're going to see all the mistakes and the mishaps and the, oh, this works but this doesn't work, okay, let me figure it out, and getting comfortable and everything like that, because he's pretty young, and just, at first you could really tell that the camera was really affecting him, and he was like deer in headlights, oh my goodness, what do I do?
Mm,
I don't want to mess anything up. That's what it looked like to
right.
me, because you know I'm that way. So,
That's a tall order too.
yeah.
I gotta share this because this wins the comments on peaches and power bombs today. That was great. Hold on. I had to do it. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Dominic, right alongside of him is Rhea Ripley, who is also it seemed to me that when Vince McMahon was in charge, he just didn't know what to do with her. And now that she's got a little bit of wiggle room and freedom, she's been able to show a little bit more of what she can do too. And um and she's not just doing Judgment Day stuff. She's doing stuff with the women's roster, I think she had a little match with Candice LeRae and things like that. And so I'm really enjoying what she's doing too. And I think that she should win the Rumble this year. What do you guys think?
Really?
Yeah.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a
I
front runner.
I definitely put her up front. Top 2 or 3 favorites.
And while I like it, another thought popped in my head that, I'm thinking they might have. I think we talked about this last time that, we might see, um, like like a multiple man tag team match with Edge and Beth Phoenix, Ray Mysterio, somebody else against the Judgment Day. I thought about that because this, that might culminate at WrestleMania or however. But yeah. But other than that, yeah, I would say Rhea Ripley would be a tremendous front runner for sure.
So, the rest of Raw was not that good. It wasn't a good show this week. I'm gonna be honest.
Mm.
It seemed like they were flying by the seat of their pants, and it wasn't going the right way. Um, Alexa Bliss, apparently Uncle Howdy showed up during one of her segments, and
Mm-hmm.
then it went to commercial, and then when it came back from commercial, they were both gone, and everybody was like, "Okay, where did they go?"
Mm.
Um, I don't know how I feel about them bringing Alexa Bliss back into all of this. Of course, when she wasn't doing all of this, she was kind of just there. So them trying to do something with her, I can't exactly complain about that because they weren't doing anything with her before. Not really. I mean, she was on the show, but she was just kind of like, I'm Alexa Bliss and I'm here.
Hmm.
The
I think
end.
it gives her. I think this whole thing with Bray Wyatt, it was so over, and I think it gives another dimension to her character, and it's proven to work. So if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Right. Right. Sarah, what do you think?
I was always kind of a fan of the dark and twisted Alexa Bliss.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So to see her, at first they just throw her right back into it. They're kind of playing the I guess the twisted, the mind's going back to the twisted state. She recovered from it. And then you see her start carrying the doll again for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The doll's kind of disappeared, but you see her going back kind of dark and twisted. Now she's saying she's in full control. But we've got to know is what is she in control of? Is there voices in her head? Is she more embracing a dark evil side again? Stay tuned, find out, I guess.
Yeah. It does make things a little interesting, and I didn't like how they just kind of ended it before with that weird match at WrestleMania and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, Randy Orton
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't have won that match, and he definitely shouldn't have done the burning thing at the end. It was weird. It was a weird ending, and even if I don't know, I just thought it was strange. And then I guess they're trying to rectify that. I guess just go back and let's finish what we started a couple
Mm-hmm.
years ago, and kind of fix whatever damage was done. And it's hard to do that when everything is documented and everything, and they have to acknowledge things and stuff like that. You can't just ignore when something happens. Of course, sometimes they do, but it doesn't go over very well. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully it'll do Alexa Bliss some good, and it'll do Bray Wyatt as well, and whoever Uncle Howdy is.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna go to some comments. Tim Sherry, fan of the page. I need to get with you soon. Rhea Ripley is a superstar, main event caliber. Oh yes, she's definitely due for her time in the women's division. Sheree says that she would like to see Rhea and Becky get it on. That stare down. Oh my gosh, it was a few weeks ago. I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
And Timothy said, good thing college football was on that day. How about them dogs? Come on
Yeah.
now.
Yes.
Back to back.
Oh man, I don't have it on this one. Hold on. Hold on. For just a second. I had to have a little bit of fun there. There we go. We're
Heck
back up
yeah.
here. Somebody's really excited. Okay, we're going to
Oh,
change
dog next
today.
door is going off. Somebody going off.
We're going to switch over to the SmackDown side of things. probably the hottest storyline in pro wrestling across the board. We have the Bloodline and the Sami Zayn dynamic. And of course, they had that tag match a couple weeks ago where John Cena and Kevin Owens defeated Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns, giving Roman Reigns his not his first pin. He was not pinned, but it was his first loss in a couple years. And he kind of lost his temper a little bit with Sammy. And you thought, sitting there going, oh no, is this when it's going to happen? Is it's happening right now? And then he calls Sami Zayn into his dressing room and he sits him down and he apologizes to Sammy, saying, I lost my cool. You're right. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at Kevin Owens. We're going to take care of this. You're going to wrestle him next week on SmackDown, and then I'm
Oh,
going to wrestle him at the Royal Rumble. So, Sami Zayn obviously looked like he was, thanking Jesus over there that he did not upset his tribal chief too much. And they were eating popcorn and enjoying the Usos match for the rest of the evening. So it it just I love how they keep teasing this. Like we're all just
ugh,
dying and waiting for it to happen and not quite yet. Not quite yet. So what do you guys think?
I love it. I really hope that whatever WWE decides to do with the sale, it doesn't affect talent and what basically what we mentioned earlier. If that actually was true or whatnot, Sami Zayn would have been greatly affected, I think, and we don't want that. I
No.
mean, it's but all said and done here, I just love this storyline as the most consistent storyline they've had since pretty much the pandemic. And, I don't want it to end personally, but that's just because I'm biased. But, God, I just love it. The Anawai dynasty is my favorite wrestling family. So, like, of course, I'm just like grinning ear to ear because, yes.
I just love how it seems. We see two theories going around the IWC. Are we going to see Sammy and Kevin team up and take down the Usos? Or do we see Sammy be the one to end the Tribal Chief's streak?
Right.
So it's just like, it's full of possibilities, and you can make an argument for each one happening. I mean, Sammy is probably the most over wrestler right now, not just WWE, but overall in general.
Overall.
And nobody deserves it more considering like Sammy's been having like his time on the main roster has been tumultuous, up and down. And so seeing this happen for him is just so rewarding to see.
Early last year, I would have said Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is
Cody
going to be
Rhodes,
the
yep.
one. They're building. He's going to be the one to take down Roman. There at the end, at this coming WrestleMania, and then unfortunately he got hurt and has had to take a sit back and allow himself to heal. And unfortunately for him, however, in the meantime, Sami Zayn has really stepped up and you know, not really taken that spot because it was a different spot, but just really captured the hearts of wrestling fans, and he's he's the most over thing right now. So I
Mm-hmm.
think while a tag match with Kevin Owens would always be fun, they can always revisit that because they have such great chemistry together and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I would argue that I think I would rather see Sami Zayn be the one to go up against Roman main event WrestleMania and take that spot.
Absolutely. I would love it.
Agree.
So in that case, that would mean if they had Sammy do that, then he would have to win the Rumble, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, unless they did like a triple threat or something, which
Uh,
no one likes triple threats at WrestleMania. Let's be
no.
honest.
it could be like WrestleMania all over again, possibly. But I would like to see the one on one. It could very well be possible to do that, but I don't know. You
And
have
they
to have
did.
a lot of factors involved to make people want to tune in to see. I mean, there's so much going on with this storyline that everybody loves it, and we're wanting more, and that's going to be the task you have to do going into WrestleMania season. We're kind of gearing up for the Rumble now, and then it's WrestleMania season, and don't forget Elimination Chambers in Montreal. So we got that to think about too.
Marie just put this thought in my head, and it kind of makes me sad a little bit. Bringing up the triple threat at WrestleMania.
I'm sorry.
This just seems like the most Vince thing that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
You get Cody, Roman, and Sammy in a triple threat main event for WrestleMania. Sammy pins Cody to win the title, thus considering the Roman has not been pinned in 3 years or whatever.
That's gross.
Yeah.
That's gross.
That would be crazy. And you know what, Sarah? They're talking about splitting the titles, so that's a good theory. And also, because I have it written down somewhere, and I've said it time and time again, this summer, I think it's in July. This summer, if Roman Reigns still has the championship, he could very well break Pedro Morales' record. In in terms of longest reign. Pedro Morales was number 4, and then you have another year and some change before he even approaches Bob Backlund and Hulk Hogan's record. So I could see him break Pedro Morales' record. Um, I would love to see him break Hogan's record, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. So we'll see.
Yeah.
With
There's
the
so
attention
much.
span, with the attention span of wrestling fans nowadays and people in general, it's a miracle that they're still even buying into Roman as a champion right now with how long that he's had it. And that shows how good Roman is too, that he has kept
Oh
people
yeah.
interested. Because if it was anybody else, they would be clawing and gnashing their teeth and going, "Good grief, we are so tired of you being champion. Please get it off of him." And I haven't heard anything like that
Mm-mm.
during this current reign.
Even when CM Punk had his title reign of 434 days, it wasn't boring to me. So it's very important, you know, it's very important to keep fans interested, especially in this day and age. You got to keep it, you got to keep them wanting more. And I think that not only it takes the champion, it takes everyone involved from the creative process to whoever's in the group. And Paul Heyman got a big say in it. I mean, you can't tell me he don't. And we all know Paul Heyman's a genius. I'm gonna go to this comment here. Timothy, I seriously doubt it. Um, it would be shocking if he did, but I don't see it happening. About
I think
Solo
it's been
Sokoa
fun.
turning on him.
I think it's been fun because before Sami Zayn started interfering in with the bloodline, they were kind of just like this big lump of people, and they were just, you know, here they are. We are the bloodline. And then when you entered in Sammy, you really got to see how he interacted with each one of them, and he pulled out their personalities. And now Jimmy and Jay Uso are two separate people. They're not just like Jimmy the Usos. He's Jay Uso. He is Roman's right-hand man. And Jimmy is right behind him. And then you
Mm-hmm.
have Solo Sokoa over here, and he's like the the muscle of the group, and he takes care of business and
The young
things like that.
stallion.
I don't know if we would have seen that if it wasn't for Sami Zayn in in there with them and bringing that out of them. So it's been really fun to watch. And let's see. Oh, we're going to talk about just for a minute, and then we'll move on to AEW. We'll talk about Alora's favorite person, Charlotte Flair.
Ugh.
She made her triumphant return a couple weeks ago and challenged Ronda Rousey to an impromptu match for the SmackDown Women's title and wins. And then she comes on the following week and says, whether you love me or hate me, I've always been appreciative of being able to do this and things like that. And then Sonya Deville comes out and interrupts her, and then they have an impromptu match for the title. Not a bad little match either. A nice little showing for Sonya Deville. So it seems like they're going full in on Charlotte Flair, and I know some people are tired of seeing it, but with how bad Ronda's current run has been, I was thankful. I was like, oh yes, Charlotte, please, thank you for saving me. It was awful.
Yeah, it kind of makes me have a love-hate relationship now because I think too, I was thinking when you were talking that, if she's elevating other wrestlers, especially those like Sonya Deville, I'm all over it. So
Yeah, and it's nice to see some of the younger fans' reactions. I saw a video. I can't remember the original source. She's outside after the show signing autographs. Hugging, posing with the fans. Especially the younger women.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's going to help keep them as fans.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm all about that too because especially the little ladies are idolizing them and stuff. I know how, like, I know for me, I wished I had somebody such as like a Charlotte or a Becky or a Sasha to look up to growing up. We had Sonny and Sable. I mean, so yeah, that's very important.
It wasn't all bad. We also
No,
had Trish and Lita
yes.
And,
Well,
and
I was
Victoria.
in my
and Victoria.
early 20s,
Yeah.
late teens, early 20s. So that's yeah. Girl, I love Trish and Lita. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like we were really, it's kind of like we kind of grew up watching the women's division elevate. So, because I know when Sasha and Bailey had their match at Takeover in Brooklyn, I cried. I cried. I never really cried during a match, but I cried. I cried again when they had the Iron Man match because you want is like I wanted to see something like that for so long, and seeing it happen on a mainstream platform like that really meant a lot to me. So, but yeah, going back to what y'all said about that, I think it's very important for them to have don't be um more or less an ass because you never know who's watching. So
Right. So we're going to shift a little bit um, to the AEW side of things. They had a very good show last night, I
I
think.
heard.
Um, I think there was some misconceptions that people were expecting a certain someone to show up, and then when she didn't, there were some very angry people.
Mm.
And it's kind of on them though, a little bit. Now, on one hand, Britt Baker did make that boss comment and winked at the camera and stuff, and maybe they shouldn't have done that. But they did announce that it would be Toni Storm as her partner last week. And then I guess people thought that maybe Sheeta would attack Tony before the
Mm-hmm.
match happened, and then somebody else would fill in that spot. And then when Mercedes Monet did not show up, they were a little upset. I was kind of hoping it was going to happen, but on the other hand, it kind of wouldn't have made sense for her to come in at this point. It was a tag match at 9:30 not the best part place on the card. I don't know. I I would have, if they would have, if I was Mercedes, I would have been like, I don't want to debut at 9:30 on your show in a tag match. I would want to come in at a different time with a different angle. So I don't know. I wasn't too upset. I once they announced that it was going to be Tony Storm, I was like, yeah, it she's probably not going to show up. It was a good match too. It wasn't bad either.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match. I think that's the best even Tony Storm has looked in a while. Like all the women were definitely really elevated in that match. They all put on excellent performances, I think.
Yeah, and Timothy's going to be excited to hear this part. I think Jamie Hayter keeps impressing people. Like, she just keeps rising to the occasion. And she kind of did it all
Mhm.
on her own, too. Now, yeah, she has been paired with Britt Baker, but people, for some reason, just gravitated towards her. There's something that people really like about her. And I think that she might be gaining a little bit more popularity than Britt Baker is right now. She gets a bigger pop anyway.
That's good. Because I think that's good too. Because I think overall you want them to emerge even better after the factions all said and done. So, but but for Jamie Hayter to have the women's championship, she looks good. She looks great in every match. Um, it's inevitable for her and Britt to come blow to blow. It's not a matter of if, it's when, and
Right.
we could see it. We could see it for Double or Nothing. I don't know about Revolution. We might see a little decision there. Just throwing this from the top of my head. If I'm thinking this is going to happen, there might be a little something at Revolution. They might face off at Double or Nothing. You never know. So that would be the big test for her.
I think if I can jump back and give my own little theory about the Mercedes Monet situation,
Sure.
I think Tony was trying to get her. I think what maybe ended up happening is New Japan or Stardom stepped in and said, "Hey, we want her first match out of WWE. Since we gave her the contract, we should get the first match."
Okay.
And I think that could be maybe the reason for the last minute switch and keeping Tony Stormer.
Okay. Well, that
Tag
that
partner.
makes sense.
Hmm.
That makes sense too. And that I think I heard that maybe that little thing with Britt Baker saying the boss. I think that might have been filmed a couple weeks prior to when they still thought it was a possibility that it would have
Yeah.
been Mercedes as well. So, that's a possibility as well. And when is her match with Kyrie?
It's next
February,
month.
Next month,
early
February?
February.
Okay. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I think her main thing right now is New Japan because they're starting up the women's division. You already know Mercedes Monet has experience in revolutionizing the women's divisions. So until until they kind of get that off the bat, I think we would see her in AEW, just not right at this moment.
Agree.
I would even maybe wait until maybe like a Forbidden Door or something to
Oh
bring her
yeah,
in for a really big
absolutely.
match instead of just a random tag team match. I think that
Sign
would make more
sign me
sense.
up for Mercedes versus Britt Baker. Like hello,
Yeah,
I'm all over that.
that would be good.
Maybe the way they lure Mercedes in is maybe she's the one that ends Jade's streak.
That would be yeah. She's had the TBS title for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah,
Because at this point,
yeah.
you're going to need a big name to kind of knock her out.
Oh yeah. I really thought it was gonna be Athena, and they didn't do that. So yeah, that's a very big possibility. I
It's
could
to
see
the
that
point where
happening.
it has to be a really big name in order for it to feel believable at this point because
Hmm.
she seems like the monster of the women's division that no one can quite slay, and it's going to take someone with a big star power in order to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I tried really hard to wait until Ray got here, and he's not here. So we're just going to have to go ahead and start without him. So someone made their triumphant return last night. And he started off talking about his injury, how he couldn't ride in a car for longer than 15 minutes without getting sick. How he
Mm.
much had to stay home all the time, and that he was basically just going to his doctor's appointments and to his MRI scans and coming home, and just he was really thinking that he might not be able to wrestle anymore and he might not be okay, for a long time, and that he's fought really hard, and that the good news is that he's gotten over that. And then he goes, and the bad news is, well, not for me, but for everybody else in the AEW locker room, that Adam Cole is officially back, and he put the entire locker room on notice. I am so happy to see Adam Cole, not just because I like to watch him wrestle, but just to see that he's doing okay, because it really looked his injuries were looking pretty bad there for a while, and he was able to overcome all of that stuff, and make it. He's cleared and able to return to wrestling, so we're excited about that. So, Sarah, I'm sure you saw. This was felt like a really big babyface promo from Adam Cole. What did you think?
Well, we know how members of the former Undisputed Era go. It seems they're giving a babyface promo, but maybe it's a heel promo in disguise. We don't know who he's going to attack. We don't know who his first rivalry is going to be against. Is he going to continue that rivalry against the Elite? Or is he going to move on to somebody new? So, I mean, it seemed really good. I'm glad he's healthy because, for a while, all the things we heard, all the reports about him is, if he's not done, it could be a couple years before we see him back in the ring.
Yeah.
So, I mean, definitely glad he's back. He's one of the more entertaining superstars, in my opinion. He doesn't have the size or the muscle build, but he knows how to entertain and put on a match.
Oh
He
yeah.
has the personality and the charisma, so I think that kind of trumps everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was definitely some very good news. Considering all the mess we have going on, that was a very welcome surprise.
Was definitely glad to hear the it's story time with Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah,
Ah,
Missed that.
me too.
I
Me
was out
too.
of I was out of town last night. I had to do some running around. So I didn't get to see Dynamite last night, but I did see that he came back and I'm like, yes.
We'll have to go back and watch it. It was a very solid episode.
To sit there, I know it's early, it's January, at Bucklebomb, we keep track of, some of the match of the year contenders. Dynamite, you could make, three separate arguments that they had matches of the night, matches of the year already last night.
Hmm.
Oh wow. I heard
Yeah,
it
it
was
was good.
pay-per-view caliber, which it doesn't surprise me with AEW. Speaking of the devil, Ray all day.
There he is. So since he's late, I'll play it for him again. Just for our friends. Just for our
Yep.
friend Ray. And
Alma, glad to see you. Doing all right.
and
Glad you had a good time.
before he says it, the Mets deserved it. He
Timothy
always makes
says
a
the dream match is coming. King Cole versus MJF.
he always
See?
says that the Braves cheated, so I like to tell him that the Mets deserved it. Okay, moving on. We're also just real quick. John Moxley and Adam Page talking about pay-per-view caliber. They opened the show last night, and they had a very good match. And I don't know if if it was an angle that they're trying to play with John Moxley, or if he legitimately got knocked out. Sarah, have you heard?
I haven't. To me, it seems like they played it. I did see him bleeding for a moment. That usually, they always are happy to show it. I don't. The fact there was no backstage reports or updates about Moxley, to me, it seems like they're just working this as a "you knock me out, I knock you out" kind of thing, and
Okay.
maybe it leads to some sort of special stipulation match coming up at Revolution.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was leaning towards too, but I forgot to look to see if I could find anything before we
Mhm.
jumped on here. So I was just wondering before I said anything wrong. But it looked like an angle to me as well. They had a lot of cameras on him too, and he was like saying what happened and everything. And if that was legit, they probably wouldn't have done that. And but they had a really good match, and the thing that stuck out to me was that John Moxley can, in fact, have a match inside the ring for longer than 30 seconds. I think he was in there. I think they kept it in the ring like 80% of the time, and I was
Nice.
very shocked.
Yeah.
And I don't think he bled until that very end either.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
The last 30 seconds of the match.
right. So I was like, okay, because I do the TRWC tailgate parties on Wednesday where we preview the show every week, and I had a little bet with our followers on there that John Moxley would go out to the outside within 30 seconds, and then 5 seconds later he would start to bleed. And I guess he was watching or something. He was like, "No, Sam, I'm going to show her I could have a match inside the ring." So it was good though. It was really
You
good.
never know. You never know.
All right, we are going to move on real quick, and then we'll probably wrap it up after this. We'll talk about the AEW World Championship here for a second. Um, Danielson, Brian Danielson has to win every match between now and February the 8th in order to become number one contender. And if he is able to do that, then he will have a match at Revolution with MJF for the title in a 60-minute Iron Man match. Um, his first test was Takeshita. Brian Danielson had a match with Takeshita, but before all that happened, MJF interrupts and just starts tearing down Takeshita and calling him all kinds of names that we will not repeat here on Peaches and Power Bombs. We are a family-friendly show, and we won't do that. But and then Danielson comes out and MJF just bolts. I don't think I've ever seen him run so fast. I didn't think it was like a gazelle. Shoo. It was interesting. MJF, wow. He likes to he likes to toe that line of things to say and things not to say.
Oh yeah.
Last night was definitely a little risque on the promo.
Yeah, in more ways than one.
Mm.
But he's a man dedicated to his craft, I guess. And Danielson and Takeshita had a very good match as well. So that was one of those other match of the year contenders that we could almost add. Of course, Danielson will be facing Bandito next week, and we'll probably be able to add that one too. So, what do you guys think of this storyline so far? Some people are saying that MJF got boring after he won the title or something. I think I'm still interested. I like MJF. So, what more do you want from him? Is what I'm going to ask.
Yeah, can't be farther from the truth on that one. I like the fact that, you know, he's making Danielson work for it. Like, because he's the ultimate heel, right? He's going to make it hard to get to him. So I like the fact that, well, we all know Danielson is a workhorse. So like, I like seeing him in these great matches. Everybody knows he's going to be number one contender, but I like the fact that they're telling the story in the ring. They're telling it via the promo and everything. Because by the time he gets to MJF at Revolution, he's going to be ready to tear that ass up.
I like how MJF is building this. You want piecemeal, you're gonna have to work for it. Did the same thing with Jericho last year. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the 5 stages of Jericho or whatever it was. Um, Here we go again, doing it with Danielson. So I mean, this is, it's becoming, I guess, kind of one of his things or his gimmicks. And we got that great match between Danielson and Takeshita. I always unfortunately mess up the Japanese name, so I apologize. Um, they put on a great match, almost the point where you're like, could we see him join the Blackpool Combat Club? I mean, it was that hard hitting, that kind of match, and he hung in there with Danielson. Um, Next week is Bandito, and it's almost like, okay, who are we going to get, for the third and fourth match?
Mm-hmm.
I like how they're specifically picking the people that are kind of like that workhorse type that I go in there and get the job done type of wrestler. They're picking people that Danielson's going to win,
Mm-hmm.
but they have that believability still towards them that
Mm-hmm.
they could pull the upset. They're not, but they could. So even though there's no question, sometimes you can suspend your belief a little bit and go, okay, well, he almost had him there. Oh my goodness, what's going to happen? So,
It's not going to be an easy road, basically.
right, right. So it's been really good. And I'm glad. I know Danielson's probably not going to win the title off of MJF. Um, I, I think MJF should have it at least a year, maybe longer. I don't know. I guess it depends on what happens in the bidding war of 2024. But
If there is a bidding war of 2024.
yeah, he could. If they had their way, they would own both companies.
Right? Hey, listen, we're in the bidding war of 2023 right now, so we got to get through that first.
Right.
I think we can safely say after MJF's promo last night, Murray, Freddie Prinze Jr. will not be making a bid for MJF.
No, he called him a Scooby Doo douchebag.
Freddie
That's
Prinze
funny.
Jr. was in the crowd last night, and he let Freddie have it a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, who was the other guy that was there too? He had the best
Kim,
facials.
Kim Jong, I think that's his name,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
from The
I love
Hangover.
him.
He looked he did a really good job of just looking completely ticked off. He did an awesome job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, real quick, since we have a few more minutes, we'll go ahead and talk about we have new trios champions
I
in
heard.
the elite. I didn't watch all of this match, so I didn't see how the finish happened. So was the ending pretty good there, Sarah?
It ended with Kenny Omega just he did the one-winged angel off the ladder to Ray Phoenix.
Okay.
That's kind of, I believe, what set up for Kenny to slowly, climatically climb up the ladder, grab the one belt. Everyone's just kind of on the outside looking in.
Okay.
I mean, it was good. I mean, you kind of think, okay, who's going to come in and knock Kenny down? Because right before they did the, we're going to save the match as long as possible. And I think Dynamite went like maybe a minute with the 10 mark. But I mean, it was good. I mean, a lot of people, say, oh, this is exactly what we expected. To me, I was kind of waiting for somebody to come in and start a feud with the Elite and costing them the titles, but
I was I was toying with the idea, not necessarily costing them the titles, but I was toying with the idea of maybe if they could get everything together, if CM Punk and FTR just came out at
Ugh.
the very end and just stared them down from the ramp or something to
hmm,
Oh, that's money. Yeah.
and that would have ended the show. And even though CM Punk isn't cleared yet, he has the ability of still of telling a story and stretching it out, and they could have stretched it out until Double or Nothing when he'll be, cleared
Mhm.
to wrestle or whatever.
He's got that star power too that everybody. I could see everybody literally losing their shit and how they'll end the show like that. Yeah, I
It
can
didn't
very well see that
happen.
happening.
I wasn't like totally invested in the idea. It was just kind of in the back of my mind, and I was like, if they did that, that would be really awesome. But I'm not going to hold my breath. Um, of course, they might wait until a revolution or something to do it then
Yeah,
too. So
that would
give
be
CM
bigger.
Punk a little bit more time to heal, or if they're still trying to work all of their crap out too.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
I
Well, we
know.
all go
Oh, sorry.
ahead.
I know Dex did. I don't know if it was on his podcast or just another interview. He did say FTR is taking time off to kind of heal their wounds a little bit.
Okay.
He did say a couple months. He didn't really give a timeline though.
Okay.
Well, at the end of the day, everybody knows this. Controversy creates cash.
Hmm.
So there you
They
have
need
it
to
on that.
cash in big time because that would be the one of the wrestling storylines, feuds, whatever you want to call it, most anticipated matches of the year.
Oh yeah.
If everybody could calm their little egos down and just say, okay, I don't like you and you don't like me. Let's set that aside for a few minutes and make some money.
Yeah, make some money, create some good moments in wrestling, you know.
We
We have several instances of that over the years, so
and we
You
can
know,
start. Oh,
it would
sorry.
almost it would almost be the ultimate tribute from CM Punk and FTR to Bret Hart. Let's do a Shawn Michaels Bret Hart kind of tribute and hate each other and but still work a rivalry.
yeah.
Right. Right. And we could start with the fight over the trio stuff because the elite could say, "Well, you're the one who costed us these titles to begin with."
Oh
That
yeah.
kind of thing
Mhm.
too. And then you it could just kind of build into that one-on-one match that everybody wants to see, which is Kenny Omega versus CM Punk.
And none of these guys are afraid to say what's on their mind too, so you already know they're gonna be riding that thin line. Like, ah, God, yeah.
It gives
It's just money all over.
it gives me chills just thinking about it. Like,
Mm.
can y'all please just do this?
This one.
Then you don't have to look at each other ever again. Just do it this one time and get it out of your system. Punch him in the face
Mm-hmm.
for real one good time, and then we're good. Okay, let's see. Ray says that MJF is awesome, and heel Cole will crush him. King Cole champion. He could be the one. And Timothy is agreeing that FDR is taking time off. I can't think of anything else right off the top of my head that's just pressing matters to speak of, and Sarah has her own show to get to here in a few minutes, so um, I think we'll go ahead and end it there unless anybody else has anything else to say. Alora?
Mm-hmm. No, we'll let Sarah plug her stuff quick, and we'll send everybody off, and go
Thanks,
from there.
Laura and Marie, for having me once again. So you can find me and my podcast teammates over at Bucklebomb Entertainment or on Twitter at Bucklebomb ENT. We jump all over the place with wrestling shows. We do some reviews, we do news, we get some indie wrestlers on once in a while. Tonight is our year-end award show. We've got 21 different awards this year to hand out. Some will be surprises, some will be obvious choices. Stay tuned to find out who won our Male Athlete of the Year. Big name there. Of course, we do some other things. We're going to be doing some new things this year. We're going to do a women's wrestling talk show starting the end of the month. We're going to try to get a variety show started where we talk about things, other than wrestling, because we all have lives outside of wrestling. So we'll get some of our favorite things there. So yeah, come on over if you want to be entertained at Bucklebomb Entertainment.
All right. Well, we were so happy to have you on today. We had such a good time.
Yes.
And
always glad to
Mhm.
chat with you.
Feelings mutual.
Yep. And hopefully we will have our own little women's roundtable right here on Peaches and Power Bombs coming in March. We're excited to maybe start something like that eventually. So yeah, and you're invited to come back for that as well.
Awesome.
And I have a little bit of a news today too. I've kind of been plugging this for the past week, 2 weeks. But I have my very own YouTube channel that is going to be launched this Saturday, January the 14th. It's called Wrestle Tales, where I take certain wrestling storylines, rewrite them in the telling of children's bedtime stories.
Ooh.
And the very first one, of course, it's about Eddie Kingston. And it's called The Mad Kid of the Playground, where he tries to find a home where he fits in.
Aww.
So stay tuned for that, and I'll be merging in some of the old ones that I did on Peaches and Power Bombs on there as well. So make sure when that channel drops, make sure you guys go and subscribe to that. I've been having so much fun doing a lot of research and writing things out and stuff like that. It's been a lot of fun. So yeah, go over there and give it a subscribe when it hits YouTube. So we'll see you guys later. Thank you for joining us tonight, and we hope to be back soon. Bye. Good night, sweet peach. It's time to go. Good night, sweet peach.